Hello everyone and welcome back. My dad, for the last couple of years at least, has been asking me, once he seen that I had a bread maker and I make my own bread, he wanted to know what it would be like if you added liquid smoke to it. He always wondered if you added liquid smoke and just made homemade bread, how it would taste. So I need to make a loaf of bread right now, and I decided, you know what, I am going to try this and I'm going to video it so he can see if it turns out good or not. I can remember as a kid, I always used to make like wild edible salads, and I remember I had a friend over once and we made one with oh, I don't know, had dandelion greens in it and plantain and lamb's quarters and all that good stuff, and we put salad dressing on it, you know, like we usually would, which it wasn't that bad then, but then I decided, you know what, liquid smoke is awesome, so I put some liquid smoke on it. It ruined it completely. That stuff is so gross by itself, yet it's really good when you add it and you're cooking meat. So anyway, maybe it's the heat that does it or whatever, but we're going to try it in my regular go-to bread recipe. I've already done a video on different kinds of bread maker breads and stuff like that, so I'm just going to use my regular recipe and we're going to run it in here and we're going to figure out exactly how it turns out. Alright, now I'm only going to do a 1.5 pound loaf. I just want to do a small loaf to see how this turns out, so I'm going to start out with my 1 cup of warm water. 2 tablespoons of butter or shortening. I'm going to go with butter today. I don't feel like peeling the shortening off of the spoon. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of white sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt. Alright, so I like to put my liquid ingredients on the bottom, then my flour, and then sprinkle the yeast over the top. So I am going to put the liquid smoke in here. I'm just going to do 1 teaspoon of it. Who knows what will happen, and I want to keep that as far away from the yeast as possible. Alright, then we're going to add 2.5 cups of bread flour. You could use all-purpose flour, but if I have bread flour, I use it. Once that's all in, I like to spread this out, kind of make a little bit of a well up here, like so. Then you want to add 1 package of active dry yeast, which ends up being 2¼ teaspoons. And yeast isn't real picky, so you can kind of just guess it out. Okay, now that that's done, just going to go through here. We want to just do a basic loaf. I'm just going to do a medium crust color. Okay, I set it on a 1 pound loaf. It does smell like liquid smoke. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I hope actually that's pretty good. Okay everyone, well 2 hours and 16 minutes until this is done. It just stopped spinning and I heard the heat click on, so I don't know. I don't even think I'll get to it tonight. I'll be in bed by then, but we will check this in the morning or tomorrow when I get home from work and see how this loaf of bread is. Okay, so here we are the next morning. You can see my nice little 1 pound loaf. It does smell a little bit like liquid smoke. I'm going to cut a piece here and we'll see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so there we go. It does have a faint smell of smoke, so I'm going to butter some of this up, throw it in the microwave for a couple seconds, and let's see how it tastes. Alright, now that we got some butter on it, let's give it a taste. I can taste it a little bit. You know what I'm going to have to do? Do another loaf, but put in 2 teaspoons of the liquid smoke and see how that turns out. This is good bread. Add our yeast. Okay everyone, well I'll see you back here in a few hours and we'll see how this batch turns out. Okay, so this loaf is done. I know there's only half a loaf here, that's because my dad stopped by. And it just got done, so I took it out and gave him half and he brought it home. So let me give this a try and see if we can taste any more smoke flavor in it. Okay, I'm going to give this a taste. You actually can taste it in there. It's actually pretty good. I mean, it's not an overly overwhelming smoky flavor, but it isn't a bad flavor like when I put liquid smoke on that salad when I was a kid. This is pretty good. So there you go. You guys now learned how to infuse the flavor of smoke into homemade bread. Thanks a lot for watching. Not bad.